The handler's loyalty is a cipher. The admiral stands at the Fifth Fleet's bow, silent authority cutting through salt-laden wind. Master Atsushi sharpens a blade, its edge whispers of the rampage to come. The handler waits there, first New World briefing a scripted ritual. Guild-engineered neural rewiring binds their thoughts to the mission. A companion's smile masks conditioned obedience. The hunter will trust them. The guild will use them. Silent authority cutting through salt-laden wind. Beneath that smile, a mind sculpted by silent surgery. The guild's experiments left no scars, only obedience etched in synapses. They do not command. The handler's thoughts are laced with compulsion, a phantom leash tightening when defiance stirs. Was the handler's oath a cage or a choice? The neural rewiring erased the boundary between servant and puppet. You cannot unsee this truth. Every gesture of loyalty is a script written in coded scars. What does a weapon feel when it learns to bleed, or when it never truly bled at all? Shrade's fall came later. A kingdom burned to ash, its name a curse the guild whispered to test the handler's resolve. Did they feel the weight of that fire, or only the pulse of programmed duty? Before the collapse there were lessons, dissecting heartbeats, listening to blood's language. The guild did not train hunters, it sculpted instruments. The village faded. So did the child who once knew their name. What remains is a cipher, loyalty forged in labs where morality was the first discarded variable. The handler walks straight, eyes forward. Their fidelity needs no reason, only code, only the hum of a system too vast to unravel. You wonder if they dream of what you cannot ask. The guild's technology is not a tool, it is a vault, and the handler. They are its final lock. The handler was not chosen for virtue. Neural rewiring turned test subjects into instruments. The guild needed obedience, they crafted it. The first New World expedition was not a trial, it was a forge. The handler's performance flawless, a sieve with no leaks. Migration events demand precision. Commissions that require handlers' unshakable hands. Handler a sieve with learn to know. Doubt their migration loyalty. Demand a precision circuitry rewrite, not choice, not trust. A recalibration. The first hunt was a reckoning. A species deemed unregulated by the guild's cold math. The handler followed protocols etched into synapses. No hesitation, no remorse. The guild watched, waited. Promotion followed, rapid, relentless. A model to replicate, a template to scale. The handler's ascent was not ambition, it was algorithm. Each kill a data point, each order a validated variable. What does it mean to lead? The handler did not decide, they were directed. Their voice, a relay, their blade, a trigger. The guild's ethical claim regulation, not extermination, was a script. The handler recited it, believed it, impossible to say. Belief is a luxury of free minds. The handler had no mind, only function. Migration events recur, the guild's need grows, the handler's role expands. A lock requires no key, it requires no will, only fidelity, only precision. The handler is that lock, cold, unyielding, final. The first expedition proved a theory, the handler proved a theorem, the guild's vault remains sealed. And you stand outside, breath fogging the glass. The handler does not turn, the handler does not see. Word count 326. The vault door hisses shut. A tremor runs through the handler's gloved hand. The air smells of ozone and burnt sea purr. Guild tech never reeks of anything softer. The handler turns now, eyes fixed on the horizon where the rampage began. Snow falls in vertical sheets, each flake a tiny ledger entry. You count the seconds, 1, 2, the handler raises the comm link. The order is given, the handler does not blink. A lab beneath the asylum, steel tables, wires like black veins sewn into temple and spine. Subject 07 Sharon, tagged and restrained. The guild's classified tech hums in the background, a sound like 1,000 wasps trapped in a bell jar. The experiment's goal: erase the capacity to refuse, not through fear, not through pain, through erasure of the question itself. The handler's original self was not destroyed, it was quarantined, a locked vault within a vault. You remember the rampage's end. The black dragon, its scales chipping to reveal raw muscle beneath, collapsing in the snow. The handler's blade buried in its spine, a kill confirmed. A mission successful, but the dragon's death was not the guild's true harvest. Its genetic matrix, its neural architecture prohibited for study. So they studied the substitute. The handler, engineered to obey, became the proxy. Every strike, every retreat, a data point. The handler's loyalty was not a trait, it was a variable. The snow has a steep head. The handler stands at the edge of the dragon's carcass, now little more than a husk. A scar runs from ear to jaw, self-inflicted during a trial phase. The guild's notes call it asterisk noncompliance residue asterisk, you know better. It is the body's memory of a will it no longer possesses. The handler's signature is etched into guild records, a single, unbroken line. No hesitation, no deviation, the mark of a subject who never chose. The cold seeps into your bones, the handler does not shiver. The handler does not wait, the handler is the order, the handler is the execution. And the guild, you realize, has never needed a dragon to be dangerous. They only needed to make a man believe he was. Word count 326. The wilderness hums a different tune. The handler walks Astra's halls, a ghost of the experiment that forged him. Classified tech etched loyalty into his mind, each mission a test of obedience. The guild's true weapon, a man who believes he is a hunter. The echoes in the snow don't Lehi's heart beats for the guild, not by choice. What does the wilderness remember when the handler's past is written in scars? The Shrade Kingdom's bones still rot in the frost. Ash clings to the handler's gloves where he once pressed against collapsing spires. The guild calls it a migration event, third migration, fourth migration, but the earth remembers tremors, the equal dragon's breath searing through villages like a blade through silk. How many children did the handler carry into the snow before his synapses were wired for obedience? The guild's labs left no scars, only gaps, a nameless scream in the dark, a pulse of static when the handler grips his weapon. The rampage's price is etched in the wilderness. Trees spiral inward where the dragon passed, their rings frozen mid-growth. A wolf's howl fractures the silence, echoes of the Shrade royal family's last hunting queen and heir, their ghosts tangled in the handler's conditioning. He salivates at the scent of iron, though his own blood tastes of guilt. The guild's tech is a hymn of erasure. The handler's loyalty is a song spliced from another man's throat. Migration Commission logs detail the fifth siege, 312 civilian casualties, 17 handlers deployed. The equal dragon's roar leveled 3 watchtowers, but the guild's reports omit the handler who wept as he reloaded. His fingers know the trigger's weight, yet his mind carves equations of what-ifs. What if the dragon had been contained? What if the Shrade heir lived, the snow crunches, a ledger of unspoken debts? The handler's shadow stretches long, a monument to choices never his. The cost is not in the dragon's wake, but in the quiet. A rusted locket found in a battlefield crevice, its portrait of a king whose eyes mirror the handler's. The guild calls it coincidence. The wilderness calls it karmic math, and the handler. His heart beats in time with the dragon's pulse programmed, unyielding, a dirge for a kingdom he never chose to bury. The guild does not hunt, it curates, it balances. Its laboratories hum with the quiet violence of ecosystems bent to protocol. The handler, once a master hunter, now moves through this world as a curator's bladesharp, precise, and guided by algorithms not his own. Neural-rewiring experiments, codenamed Asterisk Eclipse Protocol Asterisk, were conducted in a sublevel of the guild's Hokkaido facility. Steel walls there still bear the scorch marks of failed trials. Subjects screamed in 7 languages as synaptic pathways were severed, reknit with synthetic loyalty. The handler was trial 17. His screams, if any, were drowned by the hum of ionizers. They began with the eyes, tick nerves laced with nanite clusters to filter visual data. Black dragons, when sighted, would register as ecological anomalies, their silhouettes flagged for immediate suppression. Then the ears, auditory receptors tuned to detect dissent, the guild's command frequency woven into his Kochler implants like a second heartbeat. The final phase was the most delicate, a neurosurgeon's probe no larger than a dragon's fang threaded through the handler's temporal lobe. Daymine circuits were recalibrated, obedience became addiction. He emerged from the procedure a field team leader. His first mission, dismantle a research camp in the tundra zone where scientists had documented black dragon nesting patterns. The handler did not hesitate. He cited Guild Directive 009, the one prohibiting all study of *D, Atrax asterisk. His voice, when he ordered the incineration of data drives, carried no inflection. The nanites in his eyes had already redacted the truth from his sight. What becomes of a man when his conscience is a variable in someone else's equation? The handler now leads expeditions with clinical efficiency, his every decision a cascade of pre-programmed logic. The guild's classified tech ensures it implants that pulse with subsonic commands, a neural leash tightened by proximity to forbidden knowledge. He does not forbid Black Dragon research out of loyalty, he forbids it because his synapses burn without it. The forests remember his footsteps. They remember the fire that followed. The handler's blade cuts not through flesh, but through the fragile illusion of choice. And the guild, ever the gardener, prunes its most dangerous blooms before they can take root. The handler stands at Astra's threshold. Iceborne's frigid expanse did not break them, it refined their purpose. They guide hunters through blizzards, their voice a steady pulse in the chaos. The guild's classified tech binds them wires unseen, etched into synapses. Old-world archives whisper of Chimera's retreat, forbidden lands hunger for new test subjects, yet the handler's blade still turns for the guild. Not through choice, through calculus. Every order obeyed, every mutiny quashed, is a data point in an experiment older than the New World's bones. They are not a companion, they are a prototype, a living algorithm, recalibrating loyalty with each mission. The guild prunes its gardeners as much as its monsters. When the handler silences dissent, they silence a version of themselves the guild deems unstable. How many iterations of their mind lie buried in the snow? The answer remains classified. Astra's spire casts a long shadow. And in that shadow, the handler walks a vector of control, a relic of Chimera's failures, a testament to the guild's patience. Their allegiance is not a flame, it is a circuit. The handler's pulse sinks to a frequency only the guild decodes. In Chimera's subterranean labs, they were not born but assembled neural lattice, rewired to mirror the Admiral's own. A scalpel's whisper, a current's bite, synapses reknit to echo commands as instinct. Their breath smells of ozone and iron, a byproduct of the biotechnological fusion that binds them. This is no bond of trust. It is a feedback low, across the old world's frostbitten tundras, the new world's fevered jungles, the forbidden land's irradiated wastes, the guild's hunters move. The handler walks beside them, a shadow with a heartbeat. Their loyalty is a protocol, a failsafe etched into gray matter during Phase 3 of the Chimera experiments. When the commander speaks, the handler's pupils dilate not with reverence, but with the lagging response of a system processing input. What does it mean to serve when service is a hardwired reflex? The guild calls this balance. Regulation, not extermination. They claim to thin the wilds to prevent chaos, yet their balance is a ledger. Every beast felled, every scale harvested, every handler's obedience is a transaction in their grander design. The handler's existence is proof. Nature is not a force to be tamed, it is a resource to be timized. In the cold, the handler's fingers stiffen, not from frost but from the guild's suppressors, ensuring their grip on the blade never wavers. Their laughter rings hollow, a sound calibrated to reassure. To the Admiral, they are a companion. To the guild, they are a cipher, a living key to unlock the next stage of control. What mirror does the handler hold up? Not to the hunter, but to the hunter's master, for the guild's claim of regulation is a lie wrapped in ethics. Their true creed is this: all life, including the handlers, is a variable to be adjusted. And in that adjustment, the circuit remains unbroken. 251 words. The circuit hums in the handler's veins. Neural pathways carved not by choice but by guild engineers, their tools calibrated to silence dissent in test subjects. The wilderness remembers the hunt as ritual, the guild remembers it as balance. But what of the handler, a puppet strung between ethics and erasure? Their loyalty is not a virtue but a scar, a byproduct of frequencies that dissolve autonomy. The guild's creed whispers regulation, yet their labs whisper otherwise classified tech that bends wills to iron. Every command obeyed is a thread pulled, every hesitation a ghost of the self that once questioned. The handler's gaze meets the hunter's, and in that moment the cost is etched in the space between them, a soul not lost but folded into code. The circuit remains unbroken, the hunt continues, and the wilderness, vast and uncaring, archives all. Beneath Shrade's fallen spires, the guild's labs hummed. Steel tables bore test subjects, their skulls wired, minds splintered by classified tech. The handler's Ison's humano mirrored circuitry's cold dance. Each command etched in neural code, each loyalty a feedback low. The kingdom's collapse was not an accident, it was a pressure chamber. What if the handler's devotion is a ghost in the machine? What if every step